So yes, I watched the impeachment trial. Some good stuff on both sides, bad stuff on both sides. You know, it's kind of a mixed bag. I'll be honest, I thought some of the arguments from both sides were pretty good, very eloquently put, but some more eloquent than others, for sure. But some of Trump's legal team did everything they could do to not talk about the impeachment trial that they were there to talk about.
And we just want to take a moment here to break down some of what's being discussed, because we do have Alan Dershowitz standing by, Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz at Harvard Law. What are you making of Bruce Castor's argument so far? Where is he heading with this?
There is no argument. I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea why he's saying what he's saying. You know, he's introducing himself. I'm a nice guy. I like my senators. I know my senators. Senators are great people. Come on. The American people are entitled to an argument, a constitutional argument. I suspect will be forthcoming from David Schoen. But this, just after all kinds of very strong presentations on the part of the House managers with the videotapes, and the emotional speech by Congressman Raskin, my former student, you know, you get up there and you respond. We know that hard cases make bad law. I probably would have started with that. This is a hard case. This is an emotional case. He did say, and I think very appropriately, that everybody wants to take revenge when they see a horrible event that took place at the Capitol, but then he went off. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is prominent Republican attorney Alan Dershowitz saying, yeah, some of that impeachment argument stuff, well, you know, some of it was good. A lot of it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. It's almost like you're watching it. It's like they get paid by the minute, which, to be honest, they probably are, but who knows? You know, it's Trump, so they're probably going to get stiff anyway. But hey, you know, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word that this was a bad. You know, this is kind of a rambling, little crazy kind of argument to in this impeachment trial. Watch some of it for yourself.
It's how, when you're talking or you hear others talking about you when you're home in your state, they will say, you know, I talked to my senator, or I talked to somebody on the staff of my senator. It's always my senator. Why is it that we say my senator?
Because they represent the state you're from? Okay. Now compare that clip with this clip from the Democrat side.
And by the time we learned about it, about what was going on, it was too late. I couldn't get out there to be with them in that office. And all around me, people were calling their wives and their husbands, their loved ones, to say goodbye. Members of Congress, in the House anyway, were removing their congressional pins so they wouldn't be identified by the mob as they tried to escape the violence. Our new chaplain got up and said a prayer for us, and we were told to put our gas masks on. And then there was a sound I will never forget, the sound of pounding on the door like a battering ram. The most haunting sound I ever heard, and I will never forget it.
I mean, that's how you argue this insurrection impeachment trial. I mean, seriously, I don't know why Trump's lawyers thought it'd be a great idea to talk about here's how your home people view you, when it's like they were all those senators and those congresspeople. It was a full joint session of Congress when the Capitol got attacked. They were all there, and so reliving all those moments, that's what the Democrats did, and it was incredibly effective. They played a video, and it was incredibly effective. And so, if I was Trump, watching all this play out today, I'd be pissed. But apparently, he was pissed. Word on Politico, good old Politico. I know people don't always believe everything you read about Trump. Totally get it. But the word on Politico is that Trump was very angry watching this whole thing go down. According to them, President Trump was not happy with the performance of his legal team in action, says one of the people familiar with his thinking. It didn't help that his lead attorney, former Pennsylvania prosecutor Bruce Castor, name-checked Senator Ben Sasse, who just days ago slammed his state party for their weird worship of Trump. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's totally going to piss Trump off. Some guy, Ben Sasse is very known for being not the biggest fan of Trump in general, So why you would quote him during this trial just makes no sense. Also, Castor referred to Trump as former president, conceding that he had actually lost the 2020 election. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a scene genius that's really gonna piss Trump off. I mean, this whole insurrection thing is about the fact that Trump thinks he didn't lose the election, right? And so to call him a former president during this trial ain't gonna go over well. I mean, this whole insurrection attempt was really about Trump thinking he didn't lose the 2020 election and trying to overturn that vote, which is kind of strange that his lawyer didn't fully understand that. But hey, you can watch this and think, oh, he's just some damn YouTube liberal, right? He's just some damn YouTube liberal going on. Here is a quote from Republican Senator Bill Cassidy on what he thought of the day's events.
I said I'd be an impartial juror. Anyone listening to those arguments, the House managers were focused, they were organized, they relied upon both precedent, the Constitution, and legal scholars. They made a compelling argument. President Trump's team were disorganized. They did everything they could but to talk about the question at hand. And when they talked about it, they kind of glided over it, almost as if they were embarrassed of their arguments. Now, if I'm an impartial juror, and one side's doing a great job, and the other side's doing a terrible job on the issue at hand, as an impartial juror, I'm going to vote for the side that did the good job.
Yeah, that was harsh. Real harsh. It's almost like, reminds me of like if you were a kid and you get a bad grade and you go home and talk to your parents and they're not happy about it. And that's exactly what watching that clip was like. And so today's proceedings were to determine if the trial was constitutional. And, it was really more of a pre-impeachment kind of thing. And the real trial, starts tomorrow on Wednesday. And if I were former President Trump, I wouldn't feel too good about it.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for watching Citizen Pete. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button, maybe the like button, and hey, maybe just leave a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. What do you think about all the politics, the news, and all the stuff that's going on in our country?